Season 6 of the Haunted World of CW. It's been an incredible ride, but all things must come to an end. Especially when we need to make way for Season 7. This is the season finale review. Let's go. So I'm going to be engaging in some spoilers, but I'm not going to do the synopsis. I am just going to do a sort of a turn-by-turn analysis, and yes, that is some thunder. I do record outside. You know, a lot of the show is shot outside, so I thought, you know, that's the way it should be. But let's go ahead and let's discuss. So the fight between Constance, Jesse, and the Wendigo, I thought that was incredibly great. But there was one thing in the beginning of the episode that really kind of wore down on me. And this is the but that I put on the Facebook page when I was telling you I was going to review this. The poopy pants jokes, they're done. It's gotten old. And it takes a lot for me to say that. It really does. But yes, it's about time to cut those loose. You can only refer to poopy pants so many times in a row, you know, per episode before it kind of wears a little thin. Granted, I know exactly where you guys were going with it and trying to establish something with Jesse, but at the same time, yeah, it's time to retire those. You know, I'm not saying it's bad, it's just, you know, at least for a while. But the battle with the Wendigo, that was incredible. That was really well done. And I've been noticing this season that there's been a whole lot more actual monsters being shown. It seems like they've learned a little something from the Slender Man season. And I don't mean that Slender Hat, I mean the actual Slender Man thing. But, it's really one of the highlights, I think, of the episode is the actual Wendigo. Now, I think there may have been a point that Birdie44 didn't mention when she was talking about the weaknesses in the last episode, which is the curse of the Wendigo, which is that one who kills the Wendigo usually is cursed to become the Wendigo. It'll be interesting to see if that actually gets played out here, or if that part is, for this series, sort of retconned. But thinking about it, you know, I mean, this is its own universe, so it has its own rules. Well, I kind of like how it works. Another interesting point was that this time taking on the big bad was not Constance, not the main character, but Max. You know, Jimmy sitting there on his butt playing Pokemon Go, that was pretty in character, and I kind of thought that was on brand. I liked that. But Max taking on KJ, or DoppleJames in this case, I should say. Wow. It's kind of a powerful statement to me, because to me it's redemption. Because as a father, we want to do what's best for our children. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. This time we know that Max was wrong because he was being manipulated. This doppelganger had basically been pulling strings for a very long time, at least a decade, and to have been able to finish him off, I think that was pretty powerful. And I think it was really nice of Constance to allow him that, you know, that chance to prove himself, to redeem himself. It was touching. The rescue of Whisper, I thought, was pretty well done, too. And then seeing Max basically tell Whisper not to kill DoppleJames because that's what he wanted her to do. Yeah, that was pretty freaking cool. And then once the Wendigo was killed, seeing DoppleJames lose all of his abilities, and it's like, wait, my car just broke down, and I just got here. So, you know, I mean, just basically trying to play it off like he's trying to survive at the last minute and screw with everybody. Nah, we're not that stupid. And seeing the real King James come out of the place, and one of the first things he mentions is Cool Ranch Doritos. That was on brand, big time. I loved it. But it'll be nice to see if there's real King James interactions in season 7. It'll be interesting to see how those are handled. You know, whether or not his personality has changed as a result of what he's gone through for the past 2 seasons. You know, and really, if we can get some actual answers as to Claire, because, again, the Branson's contract is still up in arms. It's still out there. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Because what we saw in that one episode, that little mini episode, Claire had to have known. So I think it was Dark Claire who was playing everybody for a sucker around this point and really starting her own plans. That might mean that Claire's actually alive. Especially because Branson he still has his life. He's still here on Earth. According to DoppleJames, who kind of let the ball slip on this one, he didn't know where Branson went, which means Branson's still alive. If he went to hell, I'm pretty sure that a demon would have known. But, crap, how do I put this? It'll be interesting to see how that's handled, if it's truly touched on. But with everything now in Constance's hands, regardless of whether Claire's alive or not, the show's in good hands, and I love where it's going. Let's keep that up. So at the end of the episode, of course, there was the part where they went to the theaters because they thought there was going to be a midnight screening of the new Ghostbusters flick. And I don't know if you guys have paid attention, but this movie has gotten so much vitriol and hate that there wasn't going to be a midnight screening for that. But, of course, they're going to go in, they're going to watch it anyway. It'll be interesting to find out whether or not they actually did. We'll see. So there was a mini episode that also came out where Whisper's putting up a new security system based on Joaquin, the AI. Everybody fears it. And rightly so, as it turns out, because as we see, the thing basically turned a little toy bus to ash. Now, two things here for that. First off, what was mentioned here was that King James is now basically under arrest for all of the stuff that DoppleJames did, and they're trying to use the footage to clear his name. Here's hoping that works. Second, when the demonstration was over, everybody went inside, and then, something else happened, and I don't want to ruin that, because quite frankly, that was one of the funniest parts of the mini episode. But needless to say, it involved Constance stealing Max's truck. And yes, you did steal it. We know it. But there was also another part in there where it turned out that Max has been blowing up Jesse's phone, trying to find a way to hook up and make up and try to prove to his daughters that he's on their side. And the problem with that is that he's not really getting into the tech. He doesn't have a cell phone, and then they show him using a payphone. And Jimmy, sitting there like, you could just go buy a cell phone right now. And dude, buy the damn cell phone. Seriously, Max? Do it. Alright? Trust me. It's one of the handiest things you'll ever have. I got one, and I use it to make these videos. But the other thing was the now sort of semi-cavalier way in which Whisper is using her telekinesis. Trying to kick a ladder, a step ladder. I know that thing had to be pretty light. There's no way Whisper is that weak. I think she was just sort of playing with him. And then, of course, they say, you're telekinetic. You can do that, right? So, of course, Force chucks the ladder. I'll give her light side on that one, though, because that was just funny as hell. I loved it. But this, I think, helps to set up Season 7. And, of course, we got the release date for the first episode of Season 7. And here's hoping that there's also another slight mini aside thing that kind of addresses a little bit more of the aftermath. So keep watching, because I think there might just be something. So that's my review of the Season 6 finale and the little mini after. What did you guys think of the season? What did you guys think of the finale? What did you guys think of this video? And for crying out loud, what do you think? Period. Even if you want to, just don't talk about politics, because right now that's killing the country, and I don't want that kind of vitriol in my comment section. It's bad enough I see stuff like that on Markipliers. But down below in the comment section, write everything that you're thinking. Be sure to like and subscribe. Not just to me, but especially to them. Seriously, to them. And in the meantime, until next time, This is JDPaladin saying to everybody out there, stay righteous and see you in Season 7.